do we protect our planet and conserve precious resources? How can we defend against dangerous and deadly viruses? What can we do to support children, schools, and families? At the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, researchers work together to find solutions to the complex problems facing humankind. Some of the biggest problems start with the smallest troublemakers. The Nebraska Center for Virology has a new home where faculty teams from different disciplines focus on understanding and preventing viruses that attack humans, animals, and plants.
People see each other every day, and so we have plenty of chance to interact, to collaborate, discuss science, anything else, and putting people together, great ideas going to come out.
The NIH National Center for Research Resources funds this Center of Biomedical Research Excellence at UNL.
So make it really precise. So double check.
Research on the tiniest of building blocks yields new knowledge and new technology. Backed by the National Science Foundation, the UNL Materials Research Science and Engineering Center explores the nanoscale world. Interdisciplinary teams of scientists create new materials, structures, and systems with applications for data storage, advanced computing, and consumer electronics.
We developed new fundamental knowledge about these materials and these systems. But this knowledge is applicable to new technologies.
Tiny structures called carbon nanotubes could launch a new era of technology, the way steel kicked off the Industrial Revolution. With backing from the National Science Foundation, a team of UNL researchers has discovered a one-step process for building structures using the nanotubes, devices 10,000 times smaller than a human hair.
And our approach is, in a way, is simpler and more efficient and more cost-effective.
The new method for building these useful structures adds to UNL's growing international reputation for nanotechnology research.
We can expect a kind of very wide range of applications.
This National Science Foundation funded research may hold the key to a new world of technology. Partnerships support children, families, and schools with innovative solutions that reach across the state and beyond. The Nebraska Center for Research on Children, Youth, Families, and Schools identifies the most effective ways to strengthen relationships and help children get ready for school. Teams of researchers find solutions based on solid evidence.
Because something new and different and creative happens when people come around the table from different backgrounds, experiences, and knowledge bases to address common concerns and goals around research.
Research projects include strategies to improve learning and instruction. The center is funded by the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
Why don't you have to measure all four sides?
Nebraska Math pulls together UNL experts from mathematics, teacher education, and educational psychology to improve math teaching and learning in Nebraska, beginning with the youngest students.
When students get off to a bad start in math, they have a very difficult time ever catching up, and many of them don't. And so we're trying to put in place a project that would give children, young children, the best start possible.
Funded by the National Science Foundation, Nebraska Math works with K-12 schools to find solutions that add up.
That's supposed to be one of the lasting legacies. We're supposed to demonstrate a model for how universities work with K-12 education to improve education for all students.
Child welfare agencies serving 10 states and almost 40 tribes benefit from experts with UNL's Midwest Child Welfare Implementation Center. The new center is funded by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The purpose of the center is to help child welfare agencies to improve their systems, to create better outcomes for the children and families that they serve.
It's part of UNL's Center on Children, Families, and the Law, where a 20-year tradition of research into child welfare policy questions has earned national recognition.
We're not just a group of practitioners, we're a group of scholars who bring research and evidence to bear on the questions that face children and families.
Protecting our planet involves innovation at every level. UNL research into the environmental impact of biofuel systems involves the best minds from agronomy, engineering, and soil and animal science.
Unless you can put together an interdisciplinary team that has all of those components, you'll not be able to come up with state-of-the-art science to address an issue that's really critical to the long-term economic viability of Nebraska and indeed all of agriculture in the United States.
Biofuel research is one area funded by the Nebraska Energy Center, a partnership between UNL and the Nebraska Public Power District. The Energy Center builds a foundation for breakthroughs across a range of areas, from wind power to energy conservation.
We achieve that by funding projects that try to develop this broad range portfolio that will allow UNL to move its quality and impact and visibility in the energy sciences on a national stage.
UNL works in a global environment where partnerships enhance research, education, and extension. UNL's Confucius Institute brings Chinese language, culture, and scholarly activities to Nebraska.
We live in a global economy. China is a very critical component of that. And I think the Confucius Institute will help us establish stronger relationships with China, their leaders. So I think it's good news for our state.
Agreements forged among UNL and universities in China and India provide for research collaboration, faculty exchange programs, and opportunities for students. In the African nation of Zambia, UNL virologist Charles Wood helped open a lab for HIV/AIDS research.
Charlie trusted us, and he brought in very expensive equipment. And it wasn't only bringing in equipment, I think he's trained very good scientists for our lab. We can learn from Nebraska and cooperate and work together in finding solutions.
Military and civilian space exploration may look to UNL for help in writing the rules of the road. When an astronaut lost a bag of tools during a spacewalk, it joined thousands of nuts, bolts, gloves, and other debris orbiting the Earth. The issue of space junk is of interest to UNL's Space and Telecommunications Law program, the only one in the country.
Law can certainly help to build a system where the risks of new space debris arising will be minimized and where we have a system to handle when space debris causes damage, read liability.
The program builds ties between UNL, US Stratcom, and Nebraska telecommunications businesses, and provides a training ground for tomorrow's space and telecom lawyers.
These are huge industries, extremely vital for our national security and our national economic well-being. And so a successful program here in space and telecommunications is just another area in which the university can display its excellence.
The University of Nebraska-Lincoln, where the synergy of many creates the power of one.